second Yafo, Samuel Ronald Wanda, and Bayan Tulinaz. Bayan Tulinaz and Pura.
Hello, microphone 1, 2. Hello, audio testing. Hello, microphone. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Audio 1, 2. Hello. Hello, microphone. Hello, audio testing 1, 2. Hello. Hello, hello, hello.
So glad to Your Worship. Your Worship is an application brought under Section 5 of the Human Rights Enforcement Act, Cap 12. And it's about enforcement of rights and freedoms by magistrates' courts. First, to address your jurisdiction and then the proceeding. On the question of jurisdiction, Your Worship, it is subsection 1 of section 5, which provides that a magistrate's court, subsection 1 of section 5, which provides that a magistrate's court shall hear and determine an application relating to the enforcement and violation of human rights and freedoms guaranteed in Chapter 4 of the Constitution in any of the circumstances not referred to in section 4, subsection 1. Because those ones are for the High Court, Your Worship. That is the jurisdiction vested in this Honorable Court. And the procedure, Your Worship, is also provided for, or rather stipulated under subsection 2, that the application under subsection 1 may be made in any language, orally, in any language, orally, or in writing, or in any other form as may be prescribed by regulations. So there is a wide latitude on the procedure, Your Worship, and we are seeking to make it orally before you. And finally, on the procedure, subsection 2 of section 7, subsection 2 of section 7 provides that where a human rights matter arises in any proceedings before a magistrate's court, the court shall immediately stay the proceedings in the main matter and first determine the human rights issues raised. Where a human rights matter arises in any proceedings before a magistrate's court, the court shall immediately stay the proceedings in the main matter and first determine the human rights issue raised. That particular provision, Your Worship, is couched in mandatory terms, and we seek your indulgence, Your Worship, that we first deal with the human rights issue in accordance with the law. And the human rights issues we are raising, Your Worship, are as follows. Number 1, Your Worship, deprivation of liberty of A1 Dr. Kizza Besigye without any lawful justification, contrary to the provisions of Article 23 of the Constitution. Article 23, Subarticle 1 provides that no person shall be deprived of personal liberty except in any of the following cases. A, in execution of a sentence or order of court, and so on and so forth. So in this particular case, Your Worship, facts speak for themselves that Dr. Besigye is in the custody of the prisons authorities who are guarding him here. Yet this honorable court granted him bail. It's on record. Court granted him bail. To Your Worship, he has no any pending charges whatsoever under any court of law in Uganda. It's not there. For the record, Your Worship, previously there were charges that had been preferred against him before the defunct General Court Martial in Machindya, which charges were terminated, rather the charges and the proceedings were terminated by the Supreme Court in its landmark decision, Your Worship, of 31st January, which I'm sure court has taken judicial notice of. And the state is aware of this. Your Worship, it's straight law that one cannot be on remand without a valid remand warrant, without a court order. It's straight law. No person can be on remand without a valid court order or remand warrant. We challenge the state and the prisons authorities to produce any valid remand warrant under which they are keeping the applicant, who is their chosen person, Dr. Besigy, in custody in Luzira. There is none. And therefore, court cannot countenance that egregious abuse of the Constitution, particularly Article 23. Your Worship, which is also the other right, which is also guaranteed under the Constitution, Article 23, Subarticle 3, which provides that a person arrested, restricted, or detained shall be informed immediately in a language that the person understands of the reasons for the arrest, restriction, or detention, and of his or her right to a lawyer, and so on and so forth. This provision is quite instructive, that a person whose liberty is curtailed, who is restricted, who is detained, shall be informed of the reason as to why he is in custody or is in detention. Your Worship, Dr. Besigye up to now is not aware of any justifiable reason under the laws of this country as to why his liberty is being curtailed. That is Article 23, Subarticle 3. The other right which has also been violated is enshrined in sub-article 5 or clause 5 of the same provision, Article 23, that where a person is restricted or detained, the next of kin of that person shall, at the request of that person, be informed as soon as practicable of the restriction or detention. 2, the next of kin, lawyer and personal doctor of that person shall be allowed reasonable access to that person. The full import of this provision is that a person restrained or detained has a right to access his personal doctor. Your Worship, your applicant here, they accused person, Dr. Kizza Besigye, is sick. Last time he appeared, last time this court sat on Tuesday, he even wrote a cheat that he is indisposed. He could not make it. My colleagues and I visited him on Wednesday in Ruzira, and indeed confirmed that he is sick. And the prisons authorities can also confirm that he is sick. But to date, he has not been at all permitted to have his personal physician examine him or offer him any medical support needed. This is a gross violation of Article 23, sub-article 5, and also the next of kin. The next of kin should know the reason why their loved ones are restricted, or rather restrained or detained. Your Worship, the spouse of the applicant, that is the Honorable Winnie Byanyima, who is in the country, has not been furnished any reason as to why her husband is in Ruzira. On a light note, Your Worship, and to substantiate this matter, today is a Valentine's Day. It's a day for loved ones to share pleasantries. It may sound light, but it's a very serious one. Dr. Besigye should also be with his loved ones today. Not only his wife, but all his relatives. He's a family man. It's a day of families to reunite, to show affection to one another.
Monday, his sister was denied access.
And on Monday this week,
Stella.
This week, his sister, Stella, who had gone to take supplies to him, food items, was denied access to him. Finally, on the rights which have been violated, under Article 24, Article 24, Your Worship, provides for the right to respect for human dignity and protection from inhuman treatment. Respect for human dignity and protection from inhuman treatment. The kind of cruel and inhuman treatment Dr. Besigye is subjected to is horrendous, is reprehensible. is preposterous. Your Worship, to be in custody of the prison's authorities without a valid remand warrant, without a court order, is such an egregious abuse of one's right, which court cannot sanction or approve. We may be even on record, Your Worship, even writing a small cheat to his loved ones or the lawyers, whatever. It's a tug of war. Just a small cheat. Even when we visit him, the environment is not conducive at all for a lawyer-client interaction or interface. Literally, the prison's authorities participate in the conversation, the discussion. There is no confidentiality. You are seated, you are given a room there, they bring the prison's authorities, they are there, listening to you as you are laying the strategies on how to defend your client. That is inhuman. It's cruel. It's a violation of the Constitution. What are the available remedies, Your Worship? In subsection 2 of section 7, we reiterate that particular prayer. Subsection 2 of section 7. Yes. The first remedy is to stay the proceedings and dispose of the human rights issues. That's what subsection 2 provides, that this court stays the proceedings. It's our prayer that you stay the proceedings and first dispose of the human rights issues or violations that we have raised here. In subsection 9, and rather in section 9, orders that may be made by court in human rights cases. Subsection 1 of section 9, where the competent court determines that a fundamental right of freedom has been violated, unlawfully denied, or should be enforced, the competent court shall issue orders it considers appropriate, including an order for compensation. We may not ask for compensation, Your Worship. Your Worship, we pray that you be pleased to invoke the powers of this honorable court under subsection 1 of section 9 to issue appropriate orders, because it gives you the discretionary powers here, Your Worship, that the court may grant orders it considers appropriate. And in our opinion, the most appropriate order this honorable court can give is immediate release of Dr. Besigy from unlawful custody. Immediate release. That is the most appropriate now.